Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into a massive paradigm shift in the world of corporate whistleblowing. We'll be looking at a fascinating evolution centered around systems like S+P IntegrityWatch. For the longest time, corporate compliance was just seen as this burdensome legal duty, right? A box you had to check just to keep the regulators off your back. But as we'll see from the data and current trends, there's been a complete 180. Organizations are now viewing compliance as a highly strategic, protective asset.
Okay, let's dive into this, because for years, internal reporting had a notoriously toxic PR problem. The sources actually highlight a brilliant German term that perfectly captures this historical stigma, the Schwarz tool, basically a snitching tool. It carried this heavy baggage of betrayal. It made employees super hesitant to speak up, and honestly, it made management defensive. But thankfully, that outdated concept is rapidly fading. The modern reality, and what the research clearly points to as best practice, is that a secure whistleblowing system is actually an incredibly effective early warning indicator. Think of it as a vital pulse check for your company's integrity. It's about catching the smoke way before the whole building catches fire, fundamentally shifting the dynamic from suspicion to mutual protection.
So here's our roadmap for the explainer. We'll be covering integrity, protection and transparency, how legal duty meets responsibility, secure reporting with S+, the 4 pillars of value, the choice between an online module or outsourcing, and finally, your compliance integrity check. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Integrity, protection, and transparency.
This first concept really sets the bedrock for why organizations absolutely have to rethink their internal reporting mechanisms today. Our sources pulled this perfect quote that captures the ultimate goal: a whistleblower system that enables secure and anonymous reporting of concerns to proactively minimize risk. Now, the absolutely crucial word to focus on here is proactively. You see, a truly transparent corporate culture allows leaders to spot unethical behavior, fraud, or harassment early on. When you establish real psychological safety, you aren't just scrambling to react to a massive PR crisis that's already hit the news. Instead, you're stepping in safely, addressing the root cause internally, and avoiding devastating reputational and financial damage before it even happens.
Section 2. Legal duty meets responsibility.
So the crucial point is the actual catalyst for the widespread change we're seeing across the corporate landscape right now. It's the HinSchG, or the German Whistleblower Protection Act. Basically, this is a strict regulatory mandate requiring companies to establish secure internal reporting channels. Now, usually, regulatory mandates are the kind of thing that make corporate leaders and compliance officers literally want to pull their hair out, right? The initial reaction is almost always dread over new administrative burdens. But here is the really fascinating mindset shift presented in the sources. Complying with the HinSchG isn't just about dodging hefty regulatory fines, it's actually framed as a golden opportunity. It's a highly tangible way to show your employees, your investors, and your business partners that you take corporate responsibility seriously and that you champion a culture of genuine trust.
Section 3. Secure reporting with S+P.
When it comes to the technical engine driving this shift, security is absolutely paramount. The biggest barrier to a successful reporting culture is the fear of retaliation. If the technology isn't bulletproof, let's face it, no one's going to use it. The source outlines a highly robust architecture designed to eliminate that fear entirely. We're talking end-to-end encryption to ensure total privacy and ISO 27001 certified dative hosting. That means the data lives in verified, highly secure environments, not just some vulnerable local server. It's fully GDPR compliant, subjected to regular penetration testing by ethical hackers to spot any potential vulnerabilities, and it maintains detailed activity logs to monitor the system's integrity. These are the literal mechanisms ensuring absolute anonymity and legally secure data processing for everyone involved.
And beyond just the technical specs, there's a verified layer of quality supporting the DORA information register. We're looking at a framework of international standards that build undeniable organizational trust. You've got IDW-PS 951, making outsourced processes completely audit-proof. There's ISA E3402, which serves as the international gold standard for regulatory trust. Then you have ISO 27001 for information security, ISO 9001 for reliable data management standards, and an EcoVadis Bronze rating highlighting strong environmental, social, and governance practices. This entire stack of heavy-hitting certifications proves to external auditors and internal stakeholders alike that the system's security is world-class and independently verified.
Section 4. The 4 pillars of value. So what does this all mean for you? What are the actual tangible benefits of adopting a modern system into day-to-day operations? Well, the source breaks this down into 4 structural pillars that essentially act like a domino effect.
First up, you have risk prevention through the early detection of compliance issues. And that early detection leads directly into Pillar 2, culture change. When people realize they can safely speak up and actually be heard, transparency and trust really start to flourish across the organization. This psychological safety creates Pillar 3, efficiency. By standardizing the intake of concerns, you drastically speed up how you identify, investigate, and troubleshoot reported problems. Ultimately, this all results in Pillar 4, stakeholder trust. And this brilliantly illustrates how the system moves far beyond basic legal compliance to add massive strategic value. You are signaling true, proactive responsibility to your partners, clients, and investors.
The value of this shift becomes instantly obvious when you mentally contrast the two distinct realities a company can exist in. In a scenario without a structured, secure system, an organization is dealing with problem escalation, hidden risks that inevitably blow up into major crises, and chaotic, heavy administrative burdens whenever an incident does pop up. But introduce a streamlined platform and that narrative flips entirely. The organization gains efficient problem solving, early detection of those hidden risks, and a massive optimization of internal resources. The cognitive contrast here is striking. It's the literal shift from a reactive nightmare, where your leaders are constantly putting out fires, to a proactive, streamlined process that addresses the sparks before they ever ignite.
Section 5, Online Module or Outsourcing. Now, when it comes to actual adoption, the source material lays out two very distinct paths, acknowledging that not every company has the same internal bandwidth. Plan 1 is the online module. This is a web-based, highly user-friendly platform that a company's internal compliance team manages themselves. It basically gives you all the digital tools you need to handle everything in-house. In complete contrast, Plan 2 is the outsourcing module. This is the totally hands-off approach. With this plan, an organization delegates its entire central whistleblower office to external experts. A specialized compliance team handles the management, the monitoring, and the complex legal investigations for you, which frees up your company to focus 100% of its energy on its core business operations.
One of the most surprising takeaways from the source material is the barrier to entry, or rather, the distinct lack of one. The starting price for the online module is noted at just €69 a month for companies with up to 99 employees. When you weigh that figure against the potential financial devastation, the legal fees, and the irreversible brand damage of a massive compliance scandal, it is astonishingly accessible. It effectively dismantles the whole argument that robust, top-tier compliance architecture is a luxury reserved solely for massive global enterprises with endless budgets.
And even if a company chooses the fully delegated path, the financial logic remains incredibly compelling. The outsourcing module starts at €556 a month for that same headcount, getting access to an external, objective team of legal and compliance experts without having to recruit, train, and pay the salary of a full-time, dedicated internal compliance officer is highly cost-effective. It offers comprehensive risk mitigation and total peace of mind for an absolute fraction of the cost of expanding an internal legal department.
Let's move to NASA and see how this builds into a refreshingly simple implementation process. The transition doesn't have to be some multi-year IT headache. Step 1 is registration and setup, where the platform is customized to fit specific organizational needs and branding. Step 2 is training and introduction. The approach here ensures users aren't just handed some software and left to figure it out. They receive comprehensive training on all the learning functions. And finally, Step 3 is the launch and continuous support. This guarantees that once the system is live, expert assistance is always available to maintain operational flow and adapt to any future regulatory shifts.
Section 6, Your Compliance Integrity Check. A major takeaway from the analysis is that organizations navigating these new mandates absolutely do not have to fly blind. The suggested practical application of all this theory is a try-before-you-commit approach. Initiating a compliance integrity check allows decision-makers to explore the interface, the security features, and the administrative back-end firsthand. Experiencing the usability and the workflow in real time brings everything we've analyzed today to a very practical, risk-free conclusion. It lets leaders make an informed decision based on actual user experience rather than just abstract concepts.
Which leaves us with one final, absolutely crucial question to consider. Is your company truly ready for the new era of transparency and protection? We've explored how the concept of whistleblowing has dramatically evolved from a feared, toxic snitching culture into a highly strategic early warning system. It's a mechanism that protects corporate reputation, optimizes your valuable resources, and builds genuine, lasting trust with everyone involved. Ultimately, it's an opportunity to look critically at your current internal processes and ask whether there are vulnerability holding the organization back or a protective shield propelling it forward. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.